Blake Washington. I am Lestro, and with me, as always, is the Guru.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you know how this goes. We're here to talk a little trash on the week's worth of sports. I don't know anybody except the Guru, and the Guru knows all.
Man, I know just a little something, man. Just a little something, man.
It's episode 51, and Guru, it was a wild week, too, in the NFL. Fitzmagic reigned. Vontae retired. Mahomes is having his way with the league, and we got another tie. On top of that, Blake freaking Bortles outdueled Tom Brady in an AFC Championship rematch. Plus, as the Steelers' turn continue as the Pittsburgh can't seem to get out of its own damn way this year. Then, in segment 2, we've got the return of Guru's Week 2 call-outs and shout-outs. We've got our Bets with Ben segment featuring Ben Carey of thecurrencykings.com, the 2-minute drill, plus a special Quitters edition of Game Time. Trash Dog Radio episode number 51.
Let's roll.
Woo! I'll tell you what, man, it is another crazy night here in Trash Talk Radio Studios.
Y'all don't know how long you're going to make it doing that, man.
I'll tell you what, feels good. Feels good to be back on the mic.
Feels good.
I got a baby at home. I don't get to yell too much, man.
Feels good, yeah.
You start being like, Trash Talk Radio, and the baby freaks the hell out.
Hey, man, we got neighbors, man.
No, you don't.
Oh, that's true. We don't have neighbors. Don't tell the guys, man. Don't tell the fools out there what we do.
What we do, what we don't do.
Yeah.
Guru, how you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Man, I'm living a dream, man. Just living a dream. Don't you pinch me, man.
Did you have a good week, too?
Absolutely. 2 weeks of straight football, man.
Yeah? You do anything exciting, or just
yes,
football?
Of course. What's more okay, did you do anything exciting? Yeah. I watch every football game on TV. It's like, what is a little bit more exciting than that, Lestro?
I know, it's Christmas for 18 weeks for you, man. Like the greatest holiday ever.
You know, I live a double life, man.
Well, in that case, Guru, let's just get right a double life. You're like a spy now. I love it.
Man.
Let's just get right into it and talk week 2, because we got a lot of stories to talk about this week. There was so much going on. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Do you want to start with Patrick Mahomes or with Ryan Fitzpatrick? Because I think we can go either way here, man.
If you just give me those options, obviously, I feel magic.
You know, I got to tell you, this guy torched my Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. Torched them. Lit up the Eagles for like 402 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Who is this man?
Come on, man. This is the journeyman Fitzpatrick. You remember a couple seasons ago, he was Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
You know, Pick Six Patrick.
Yes.
It's funny how he did a makeover. Now it's Fitzmagic. This is the same guy in New York that was throwing pick sixes like it was nothing. Like it was like a Christmas gift, man. Like every DB in the league used to do like, oh, we're playing Fitzpatrick. Oh, shoot, Fitzpatrick. It's like he was like playing against Jay Cutler.
I'm gonna get me 3 this week.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he was playing Jay Cutler. Now all of a sudden, this man went down south, went to Tampa, and all of a sudden, boom.
Well, he does this from time to time, like in a contract year. Remember before he left the Jets. And by the way, I think anybody leaving the Jets, I hope this happens every time. I'd like somebody to leave the Jets and just become like the greatest player ever. I think that would be just too perfect. But he before he left the Jets, he held them like hostage for a summer with a contract. He got a big contract because the year before that it was the same.
Exactly.
You know, like this is a guy.
Then after the contract, he stunk it up.
Disappeared.
He became what we really know about him, man. Six Patrick.
Yeah, again.
You know what? I feel you, man. Once you went down past the Mason-Dixon line, all of a sudden he got a little tan. The beard looking a little bit different.
Beard a little bushy.
Yeah, man. The chest hair grew more, man.
We got to see it this weekend.
Oh, my goodness, man. I think, you know what? This is like only, 2 hours from the Magic Kingdom?
Yeah. I smell a sponsorship here, Guru. Ryan, get that check, man.
Send that check, baby. Send that check. Fitzmagic.
Well, Guru, the question we have to ask here is, can he keep this up? And then what do you do if you're Tampa Bay? Because Ryan Fitzpatrick has created a quarterback controversy down there. This was supposed to be famous Jameis leading this team. Jameis Winston coming back. He's out for 4 weeks. Fitzpatrick is a stopgap measure to try and get the team through until he gets back. All the dude's done is thrown for 8 touchdowns in 2 games. He's got 819 yards. What do you do if you're Tampa Bay? Can you get rid of him? Do you keep playing with him? What do you do, Guru?
You know what? You got to ride that magic, baby. You got to ride that magic.
I am
you
with
know
you.
What? We have plenty of time. We have plenty of time with, the famous Jameis. We have plenty of time with that shenanigans. It's time to move on. Move on. Ride this magic and draft a real quarterback next year.
You think that's
Well, are we gonna fall for this, man? No, this is just the flavor of the season, dude.
right? This is his chance here.
Yeah.
He's just doing this for now.
Yeah, who does this all the time, man?
Well, I think we got to get. I think you got to keep playing him. He's got the hot hand until he doesn't. Until he throws his 6 interceptions, because it's coming. Don't doubt it. It's coming.
Yeah.
But until he does that, you gotta play him, right? I mean, it seems to me like this is a guy who looks like he's got the locker room believing in
He
him.
won the locker room, and I think beating the defending Super Bowl champion the way they did, very first play, and how everybody's excited and happy about him, and he's just creating a kind of a culture, kind of a great. It makes it want to go to work. You could tell those guys want to go to practice.
Yeah, now and then he comes out in the press conference looking, wearing Deshaun Jackson's gear, looking like Conor McGregor, and talking about being humble. It looks to me like he's having a blast, and that looks like a fun team right now. You know what I mean?
The Buccaneers, man. I
Who
would have
saw
known. Who would have known Dirk Cutter? I was trying to get, oh my gosh, the Guru. I apologize. The Guru apologized to Dirk Cutter, and the Guru apologized to when I used to call him Fitzmagic. Patrick. Right now, I'm sipping that magic juice, baby. I'm sipping that Fitzmagic juice. I'm riding that juice to the playoff. Yes, I said it.
Playoffs?
Yes.
So, Guru, you believe in magic right now.
I believe in magic,
you say
and
ride
I
this,
hope you do.
Ride this as long as you can.
Ride this magic train, baby. Straight ride this train, baby.
All right, so before we move over to Pat Mahomes, we got to talk about it. Let me just ask you a quick question. Should I worry about the Eagles, or do you think they can come back this week with Carson Wentz?
Yeah, man. Dude, the NFC East stinks.
Oh, it's a little brutal right now. That's
Stinks,
not
man.
the best division. All right.
Mercy.
So I still got a shot.
Yes.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yes.
So the other big story this weekend wasn't just Fitzpatrick. Another quarterback that is lighting up the league so far is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, he's making Andy Reid look brilliant, but I remember last year at this time, Alex Smith was in a similar boat. So my question for you, Guru, is Mahomes for real?
Yes. Chief, my homie, Chief, I call my homie, it's the real deal, Holyfield.
6 touchdowns on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers for a total of 10 on the year. He went 23 for 28 with 326 yards, a quarterback rating of 154.8. Dude looks like the real deal out there, man.
My homie is the real deal. I'm telling you that, because my homie is with my other homie, Andy Reid, because we all know Andy Reid know how to take care of the homies. So it just makes sense because Alex Smith was not the homie. You know what I mean? Because Andy Reid got Donovan McNabb, who's the homie. Michael Vick, the homie. Now, and then he also all of a sudden got Alex Smith, who wasn't the homie. Now he got the Mahoney.
Now it looks
the one he's been waiting for his whole time, the real homie.
So the real homie. So is this the guy then for Andy Reid? Is this the guy to help get Andy Reid over that hump finally? Because me, Guru, we've been over this as an Eagles fan. Hey, I don't think he's got to go the distance.
It's simple because it takes Andy can't beat obviously Brady and company by himself, right? So he needs his homies. So with Andy now having a homie, So now they could battle Belichick because it's Andy and Mahomes to battle Bill Belichick. So, yes, I'm going with Andy and his homies to be the chief of the league.
Really? You like them so far? Are they believable? 2-0? Is this?
No, but they're not going to the Super Bowl.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
No, of course not.
I told you about who's there. They got my man over there, Boza, when he comes back.
When he comes back, eventually. Now, the Chiefs played the Steelers. Now, that game, the Chiefs went out to a quick lead. It looked like they were going to run away with it. The Steelers battled all the way back. It was a back and forth, a slugfest. But it looks like the Steelers can't.
I hope y'all can't read lips.
What you okay there?
You know, Big Ben. Oh, I hope they can't read. Hey, AB, please don't read lips, baby, because you ain't going to like what Big Ben did.
Now, Guru, you've been talking about this for 2 years. You've been talking about how the Steelers, they got a real problem in that locker room, and they can't seem to get out of their feelings. What is going on in Pittsburgh, and what happens next, man? AB, after the game, saying, trade me, and we'll see what happens if I'm on another team. What is going on with this team?
It's very simple. It's been a cultural situation in Pittsburgh. Growing up, we know when you think about it's about a brand. Now, just a different vantage point. When we think about the Pittsburgh Steelers brand, you think about that hard-nosed, hardcore locker room, that community feel. It's a different atmosphere when you think about Pittsburgh Steelers brand. Hard-nosed.
Yeah.
You don't think about off-field issues. You don't think about any of that element. You think about good guys that come in, blue-collar guys.
Yeah, do their work.
Do their work. And go to the community, feed their family, and just that straight blue-collar guy. That's what you're looking for when you're Pittsburgh. But then there was a shift when what's his name left, and then Tomlin took over. Mm-hmm. You know, there was a little shift. So obviously there was still some of what's his
Cowher.
There was still some of that pieces in the organization with Cowher there. You know, with as far as Dick LeBeau. But as soon as Dick LeBeau was gone a couple seasons ago, right, it all became Mike Tomlin's team. And the culture changed because Pittsburgh was a defensive dominated culture, but then it started becoming a finesse team. Pittsburgh, for the last 3 to 5 seasons, has been a finesse team. They've been doing little things as far as AB doing his little antics, the weed situation with Blunt and Bell, stuff like that never existed in this brand and this organization that's taking place. But now it's getting to the point where things are changing. They don't want that no more. The Rooneys don't want that. They absolutely don't want that. They want the old school Pittsburgh back. You can see by the way they're drafted. You know, one of the biggest things I think that's affecting Pittsburgh and AB is the emergence of Juju Smith. Now, Juju fits the ultimate characteristic of a Pittsburgh Steeler. You know, like from the Heinz Ward mold. Players like that. He's a hard nose. He will block. You know you have no off-field issue. He gives you that smile. He's articulate. He is an epitome of a Pittsburgh Steeler, a Lynn Swan. He is that. AB is not.
Now, AB joined.
Le'Veon Bell is not.
AB and Le'Veon Bell, neither one of them were at practice on Monday, apparently, at the facility on Monday. Le'Veon Bell still holding out, and AB not there on Monday. As we said before, tweeted after the game or posted something that somebody talked about. This guy's benefited from Big Ben being there the whole time, and his response was, "Trade me and we'll see." Can Pittsburgh get out of its way, or is
irreconcilable difference?
They just got this is it?
Irreconcilable.
Just
hey,
and be done with it.
It's kind of one of those things. Is everyone knew, but they couldn't really come. They knew, but they didn't have any tangible evidence. When the Seahawks lost and that pick in the Super Bowl, they knew it was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that was their
That was the beginning of the end. It's Pittsburgh now. When they lost Dick LeBeau, when he was gone, that was the beginning of their end. So now they're in a point, it's over. To say they have to make moves because they have guys that's calling out the organization now. Now it's bigger than just now they're testing what Pittsburgh been building before those guys even were born.
So this is the end, you think, of the Steelers as we know them today. They've got to move on. They've got to move on from everyone.
They got to move on with AB.
Just blow it up.
And they got to move on from Le'Veon.
All right.
You know, and I don't see Pittsburgh winning more than 8 games this year.
So you think they've taken themselves out of the race
done.
At this point?
Mentally, they're done.
They've checked out.
When the quarterback, Big Ben, I saw this, right? Watching the game, reading lips, man. I wish we could show this clip, but it happened so quick, right? When I forgot which play it was, but AB was doing some antics, and Big Ben just with his lips says, "You."
Yeah. Go F yourself, basically.
Yeah, basically. You fucking baby.
Yeah.
That's basically what he said.
Well, we'll see what happens in Pittsburgh.
And trust
Again,
me, if from what I know about those guys, and especially a successful guy, when your quarterback tells you say something about that, I don't care if you don't mean it. There's something behind the scenes going on.
Yeah, there's some shit. That's not something you let out in public unless
Absolutely.
there's some real shit backscene. Well, I'll tell you what. A team that the other big game this weekend was the Packers Vikings game, which ended in our second tie of the year. Speaking of Pittsburgh tying last week with the Browns, we got our second tie of the year when your favorite cousin, actually battled with Aaron Rodgers, the bad man, Aaron Rodgers, and they went back and forth for a while and ended in a tie here. Is this some sort of is this parody? I guess is my first question. Are we going to see ties from here on out? Is this what happens?
No. First of all, no. Because the only reason why there was a tie because there's a kicker,
Right. Well,
Daniel Carlson.
I'll tell you what, kickers look like hell this weekend.
Hey, put it like this: he got released, so we're not going to see Daniel Carlson ever again.
Ever again.
So it don't matter about that. So
No.
yeah, Kirk, my cousin, my favorite cousin, went to Lambeau Field in Aaron Rodgers' home. Outdueled Aaron Rodgers.
He looked
and
good.
We all saw that.
We
and
all
you
saw
the
it.
throws he did. Oh, masterful Kirk. And I keep telling you, Kirk Cousins will have a better season than Aaron Rodgers. Kirk Cousins is the king of the North. Kirk Cousins will be leading the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Championship game.
You like that?
Yes, I like that.
Now, the other thing in that game was that kind of it fell with the kickers, obviously. A lot of missed kicks that could have ended that game either way. But there was also a penalty at the end of the game. The Clay Matthews penalty, the roughing the passer. It's his second one in 2 weeks. It's really had an impact on the game. I got to tell you, Guru, this one to me looked like bullshit. This looked like he was just being tackled. It looked like if this is a penalty, I'm not quite sure what it looks like. To me, they've made roughing the passer the new catch rule, and I can't seem to figure it out. You're a defensive guy. Did you see this hit as being a roughing the passer hit? And if so, how are you supposed to hit a guy like this?
It's kind of ironic because what the statement of the rule that is, you have to call that flag. And it's kind of ironic because they made that rule because of it's called basically the Aaron Rodgers rule.
Oh, because it broke him last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because it was for the Minnesota Vikings, who actually, I think it was Everton Griffin, who actually landed on him and broke his collarbone and all that nonsense he had going on.
Right. Ended him last season.
Exactly. So it's kind of ironic this happened in Lambeau against Green Bay, and this time was the opposite. So I think it's all about safety. We know that's what the NFL wants. That's safety. We want to see the players. We want to see the star quarterback play.
Right. We want to see Aaron Rodgers. We don't want to see his backup.
I don't want to see I don't want to see Kaiser, Matt Castle, or
no.
I don't. Baker Mayfield. Nah. Attorney, I'm taking shots. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that though. So the league got to protect those guys, and part of those ways of doing it is that you got to call that.
Yeah, but the call is by the rule. It's because he brought his full weight down on him, and I don't know how he could have avoided that. To me, it looked like he hit him, he fell on top of him, and they called a penalty. Like that's a tackle to me.
You know what? Now you're a father, right? Sometimes I am a son. I was told, and I'm still told sometimes you might be at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just he did it's the right place. Like, when stuff happen like at school, you're at the wrong place at the right time.
But is there, aside from grabbing the quarterback by the ankles and hoping he falls down, how do you sack a guy now?
You just gotta do something. I can't even answer that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem.
You gotta do something. Just grab him. You know what? You don't sack. You just hug people now.
You just hug them.
That's right. Well, you know what? You just go there and you just bear hug.
Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah,
we're just gonna give everybody a big
now.
hug. Just everybody. Everybody. All right, so we got one more thing here that we should talk about before we get into the other big story. We got one more game, and that's Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars took Tom Brady out by the woodshed this weekend, and Jacksonville made up for that AFC Championship loss in a big way. Jacksonville looks dominant. This is a team that Bortles, I give Bortles a lot of shit. And, Bortles is the new Flacco is one of my favorite things. He is playing like a real NFL quarterback. And it wasn't one of these, like, he did enough to get by. No, Bortles beat them this week. Bortles looked good. He is earning his money down there. If that's the case, can Jacksonville be stopped?
They falling into the Patriots trap, dude.
By beating them?
Come on, man. The Patriots treated this game as a preseason.
They've been doing a lot of that.
Come on. Like, they do this every time because if they know they're going to see you again, do you think they're going to show you all their good thing in week 2?
They're going to let everybody warm up?
Come on. Did you see that? And now, guess what? When they meet again with the addition now of Josh Gordon, it's so totally different. This is like the Patriots know. They systematically, strategically like, okay, there's an absolutely great chance that we're going to see each other in the playoff. That's just what it is.
Yeah, these are two good teams.
That's just,
two of the elite teams in the AFC.
So with that said, I'm just going to show them as most vanilla stuff as I possibly can, and then I could see what they do when I do certain things. It's that like Belichick is 2-3 steps ahead of that. All that dominance, yeah. I was watching it like, oh my God, they're just showing too much.
Oh, so you think this was
Jacksonville? No, that's exactly what it was.
So you think this was all about what's his name? Belichick making Jacksonville show their hand.
Call. Yes.
Yeah. This is what you got.
Yes, because obviously they know it's emotional. Belichick is a strategic guy here, man. Just like the guru think about it. He knows Jacksonville is an emotional team. It's all emotion. Once you make decisions based on total emotion, you're clouded. You know what I mean? So with them, we got a rematch. We going against Belichick. We going against Brady. So they're going to try to get them all. They were probably worrying about this game since the offseason. Talking about what plays we're going to do. We're ready for this. That's what you do, common sense.
They've been talking about since they lost the AFC Championship,
and
man.
Then you know what Brady and them going to do? Look, we're going to see them again. So we're going to save this. So we're just going to show them here. Let's do a little tweak here so we can see how they react. Now we have that on tape.
Right, because Belichick's smart enough to know.
Belichick's been doing that like every.
Belichick's smart enough to know he plays in the AFC East.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not have to worry about it.
He knows that. So that's why you saw that. Like the Patriots could have walked them in. There was those chances. You even to watch the game, but then I could tell what was going on.
And this is just playing him.
I could tell the Patriots know they could afford a loss.
It's strategy is what you're saying.
And you notice that they're not going to lose to like the Browns, any of those teams. There's certain teams they know they're going to see again that they're not going to show a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. Come on, man.
All right, so I got one more here before we take a quick break because we're running long on this segment, Guru. We have to talk about Vontae Davis because Vontae Davis went into halftime at the Bills game and was like,
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
And quit. Halfway through, the dude retired at halftime, packed up his shit, and left. The players were confused. The coaches were confused. Johnny Cab out in Buffalo is beside himself over what he sees as completely unprofessional. I'm torn on this, Guru, but I got to get your take on this. Vontae Davis quits at halftime. What's going on?
What did he do? Did he quit or did he retire? There's a specific difference between quitting and retirement.
Well, yes and no. I mean, he officially retired is what he said. He said that he realized he couldn't play anymore, that his head wasn't in it, and you can get hurt and somebody else can get hurt, so he just got to go.
Mm-hmm. So
at halftime?
He retired. So now the thing is, we're just upset about when he made his retirement.
Well, yes.
So is there ever a good time to make a retirement?
Not during a game. So as a player, if your guy you're playing next to, you're expecting to be there in the second half. Now, granted, these are the Bills. They're not good. They're the whipping boys. They could be this year's Browns. They honestly, the way they look, if they went 0-16, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. As near as I can tell, this team is major leaguing, like the old movie, the baseball movie. Mm-hmm. They're trying to lose to drive off the fans and move the team somewhere warmer.
Vancouver or something.
Yeah, somewhere somewhere warmer, I think. I think they're done with Buffalo. But so it obviously this is not a team that is in the hunt. Do you think Davis was just like, "Oh, I've had enough of playing for this team," or what do you do as a player? How do you respond to a guy quitting at halftime?
You quit on him, man. It's just very simple. It's over. It's irreconcilable differences.
Again, just you're done. Get out.
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. This is quick, done, bye, home, boo, peace.
See, and I'm torn on this one because I think that, football is a violent and vicious game. And guys, if your head is not in this game, you're going to get hurt. Someone else is going to get hurt. These are big men running around out there hitting each other, and you got to pay attention. But, man, at halftime, that is crazy.
Dude, look, I don't want to hear that. The big man. It's this simple. If you want to leave with some dignity, anyone could say, hey, my groin hurt. Hey, my hamstring. Hey, this, I'm not going in there because I could go on the first kickoff and grab my thigh and be like, ouch, and I'm out with dignity. Oh, he pulled his hand. What happened to Vontae? Oh, he pulled his hamstring.
It looked hurt. He limped off to the locker room.
Exactly. And things would have been gone. No, this is what B. Diddy said. P. Diddy said, I'm going to have to quote him as, this is some bitch-assness. Some straight bitch assness, man.
This does seem like a fuck you almost.
Yeah.
Like he's like I'm leaving now.
So
Mid-game.
Vontae Davis, that's some bitch assness move, man.
We're gonna call him out. Is that the key? We'll see.
Ultimate call out. Oh man, get the heck out of here.
We'll see you in the next segment. So speaking of the next segment, Guru, why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back in segment 2. We're gonna have the call outs and shout outs. We've got our Bets with Ben segment with Ben Carey from the CurrencyKings.com. We'll do a little bit of the 2-minute drill, and then I got a special quitter game time for you. Are you ready for this?
TTR.
Trash Dog Radio. Trash Dog Radio. Back again, segment 2. Without the Guru this time, who informed us at halftime that he can't go back out there. I think he quit at halftime, but the show must go on, so we're going to do the plugs anyway. Trash Talk Radio at TrashTalkRadio.com, brought to you by the WorldOfSportsNetwork.com. World of Sports Network, connecting the world through the sports we love. We got all the kinds of stuff down there you got to check out. We got the Trash Talk Radio Show. We got the On-Court, Off-Court Show. We got the Attorney Sports and Order Show. You can find all your sports podcast needs and show needs over there on WorldOfSportsNetwork.com. If you're looking for me, Lestro, I'm on Twitter every day at @MoreOrLestro on Twitter. And the Guru, when he's there, is at Guru's Film Room on Instagram. Guru's Film Room, just his thoughts. TrashTalkRadio.com, 10K for TTR. Hashtag 10K for TTR. I'm getting word we have a press conference from the Guru to go to. Can we go to that film?
Yes, we play to win the game. Not practice. We're not talking about practice right now. We play to win the game. We just got to stay humble. We know being 2-0 is it's a good thing to be going on. And we're thinking about the playoffs. Yes, because we know playoffs is very important. But because before we get to the playoffs, we got to practice. Yes, practice, because practice will help us win the game. You practice to win the game. They're pretty heavy, man. They are heavy. The only reason why I'm even here is so I won't get fined. You know the funny thing is, none of this outfit is mine. The only thing that's mine here is my pectoral muscles.